struggle is opportunity in disguise. And I'm not talking hardcore traumatic struggles. I'm talking unexpected things. For example, this last week, we lost power. We also lost cell service due to weather. My basement flooded, and my dryer blew a fuse. And yes, my dryer has a fuse. It is old. In fact, I think it's older than I am, and she still runs. But the point I'm making is, I could have said, it's March break, the weather's bad, my internet's down, my cell service was down all day Monday. Forget it, I'm not doing videos this week. I'll get it next week. And we all know when you start, it snowballs. Next week turns into next month, turns into never. So the struggle that I had was I was overwhelmed with a natural disaster, and I didn't have the tools I usually have at my disposal. But what I did have was an opportunity to learn something, and that's what struggle does. Struggle gives you an opportunity to learn something valuable. In this case, I have my notes so we don't miss out on all the juicy bits. I discovered two things. One, scheduling content, and two, saving my content into drafts. Now, I know I might be a little late to the party on this, but I learned something about these two things probably in the last month. So for those who don't know, my Instagram is MotherFixit, and I was on a 30-day challenge to post once a day for 30 days through February and March. I think I mentioned it a few videos back that it was the Stan Store Dare to Post challenge. I'm happy to say I posted every single day for those 30 days, and I am so proud of myself. And that's where I discovered the scheduling content and the drafts. But I also did a little experiment in that, and that scheduling the content, because I'd been told scheduling it kind of messes with your algorithm. I did notice that any content that had been scheduled got less than 100 views. But content that had been saved to my drafts or done and posted the same day got well over 100 views, which in my opinion on a new Instagram was actually pretty dang good. So I've learned two things. The scheduler is there for short blitzes. So if I had an event that I wanted to post for on Instagram specifically, I could schedule 3 to 5 posts a day for 3 days and have it run automatically, so I didn't have to think about it while I was doing other things. But for consistent posting schedules, it performs better if you put all these, like the batches of videos, get them all done up and then put them into drafts and then post them yourself. At least that was my take on it. So the struggle I had gone through earlier in the week showed me an opportunity to learn something of value and apply it. I still posted on, well, it wasn't Monday. I think by the time the video posted, it was Wednesday for Monetize Monday. And this video is going to go out on Thursday, but it's going to be well into the afternoon when it does. But it's still going. Could I have timed it better? Yes. Does it really matter for this week? No. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn. So the next thing I'm struggling with, and this will make it a little more clear how struggle is opportunity in disguise. My home computer, as we all know, is a dinosaur. And she is struggling hard. So I am anticipating there's going to be a point where I can't use her. So now, what do? I got a taste of that on Sunday, Monday this week when I couldn't use my cell phone for the day because I had no cell service. I think a tower in the area went down because we had a mix of wintry weather, freezing rain, regular rain. We had thunder snow. For those of you who don't know, those are thunder and lightning storms with snow, rain, and hail instead of just rain in the wintertime. And it does a lot of damage. So we had that as well. But I learned that without my home computer, I would probably have to use a local library because my cell phone can only do so much. So let's walk through what that's going to look like. So my home computer goes down. I have a cell phone to consume my lessons and do my research. I have wireless earbuds that are fairly old. They're Wicked Drifters. I think they were $25 a couple of years ago. So I can use my cell phone to consume the content and the research, to record my videos, which I do already. I can also use custom GPTs like I've spoken about previously. Stan Store has one called Stanley, and Your First 5K with Arlen on Skool, Skool. I'll link that in the description. She does teach you how to make your first 5K. If you follow through and you do the work, it is absolutely possible. But she has a custom GPT in one of her $100 offer 5-day challenges that you can use. And those can be done on my phone. The next thing I do, though, is the most important thing, and that is using cross-platform systems. So when I save all of the chats and videos and recordings, I actually save them in Google Drive, Google Documents, Google Files. The reason being, I can access everything I do on my phone through my account on any device. So that means if my computer goes down and I decide to go to our local library to use their computer, I can still access all of my work. I don't have to have it all written down and printed out and panic about, I need to get this fixed or I need to recover the hard drive. I've got it. So this is where, again, I'm struggling, but the opportunity to learn and come out better on the other side is always going to be there if you train yourself to look for it. Recognize the privilege. Recognize the proximity to resources. Recognize the free resources around you. It takes practice. It really does. Because when you're struggling, some of us panic, some of us get anxious, some of us get depressed, and we are in our own heads, unable to see anything else. That's where you need to practice grounding yourself, pulling yourself into the present moment, deep breaths, no more what if, no more what was, no more God, what could be. I am here, I am now, and I am in a safe place to make a decision. What do I have control over right now? What resources are available to me? And it is unfortunate that some of us have an invisible resource, or I guess a very visible resource. Because of my looks, I know that no matter where I go or who I talk to, I will be seen as a human being. White privilege at its finest. I don't have to prove that I am worth being seen as a human. That's an invisible privilege to me. And yeah, I'm gonna exploit that if I'm struggling. But I also realize it's not something to take lightly. So use your advantages to your advantage. If you speak well, use that to your advantage. If you have no problems making connections with people, use that to your advantage. If you have a really great analytical mind and you can find and locate resources fairly easily, use that to your advantage. In the struggle, you will find opportunities. Use those opportunities to your advantage. Then you will make a plan of action. This is where everybody flounders. Anybody I talk to anyway. People will make a list of goals, of hopes, wishes, dreams. Great, but nobody makes a list of actionable steps. Third and most important thing you can possibly do when you know what your privileges are, when you know what your resources are, when you know what's in your control, the next thing to do is make a plan of action. In my case, this computer goes down. My plan of action is 1 day a week. I am going to be at our local library. I am going to have already done my research, gotten my scripts, made my thumbnails and my titles for all of my videos. I have already decided what's happening. I've probably already recorded my videos. I've done all the legwork that I can do with the cell phone I've got. And then anything that needs to be done on the computer, I will have booked time at our library because I know you can only book them for approximately an hour at a time. I will show up a little early. I will let them know what I'm doing, that it is actually for work purposes. It's in a professional capacity. I will make sure that the system I've got can run the programs I need to use. And I do it. I sit down for that whole hour. Everything's already been preliminary worked. I just put it into action. Do I publish all the videos at once? No. Do I save it to drafts? Absolutely. And if I cannot absolutely publish those videos on my cell phone from a draft, then I'm going to put it into a scheduler. It's not my favorite thing to do, but it gets the job done. But without planning your actions, without picking your day, without saying no to everything that's not going to move you forward, without doing all the legwork, the videos, the research, the scripting, the thumbnails, without doing those things, you don't have a plan of action, you have a wish list. And you've let your struggle overrun you instead of taking it as an opportunity. And I'm going to pause right here and say, if this kind of information is something of value to you, don't forget to subscribe, because at least once a week, these videos come up. I do this every week on Mondays, most Mondays. I also show you the behind the scenes of my journey to monetize on YouTube, what it takes, how long it takes, things I learn along the way. If you know somebody who could use this information, don't hesitate to share. Hit the like and the notification bell so you never miss any more information. But honestly, be prepared. I do my scripts, a lot of them by hand, mostly by hand this week. I also do my schedules, and my phone is sitting on my calendar. Actually, I'll show you. My calendar. I write out what I'm doing this week. The candle on top of my stack of books. This is my very high-tech workspace. And my dinosaur of a computer is currently off to the side, updating, creating a massive amount of noise. That's why it's not in front of me. Fingers crossed, everybody pray for me that this machine makes it through. But yeah, opportunity is found in the struggle. The struggle gives you an opportunity to grow. Like, those two things are intrinsic. And I actually teach people how to stop the spiraling thoughts when you're in a struggle. how to decide what is real and true in the moment right now, and what is actually just fear being projected onto the moment, followed by an action plan. Things that are tangible that you can do to move you forward to your goals. So if that interests you, I have a free Fact versus Fear mini reset linked in the description. It's a 10-minute practice. It is free and it is invaluable. I use it every time I have to make a decision, every time I face a struggle, every time things don't go quite the way I planned, and I catch myself in the spiral. I pause, come to center, ground myself in the moment. Okay, what is true here and now? What am I afraid of? What can I control? What is out of my control? And then the next right step, sometimes 2 or 3 steps, but the next right step to take based on what is true, what I can control, what is my next step. Does this work every single time? No, I am human and the panic is real. In fact, all feelings are real. Not all feelings are true. So yeah, check out the link in the description for the mini reset. Honest, practice it. Practice it every time you catch yourself spiraling. It does work, but like anything else, it needs to be practiced so it becomes natural to use it. But yeah, I think for today, the struggle has been real this week, but so is the opportunity. My computer goes down, I have a plan of action. I'm not worried. I don't like it, but I can do it. And that's what I want for everybody who follows this channel, is to know that when things go sideways, you always have a choice. You always have an opportunity. And you will always come out the other side. A lot of times better than how you went in. So that's it for this week. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, don't hesitate to put them in the comments. I do my best to answer everybody in a timely manner. And I am looking forward to seeing you all next week.